Hello?
What's going on?
You was here before.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. So you know I got a whole bunch of feedback after you was on my show. So you here to get your Instagram followers up?
No.
That's what
I
the
was
word on the street
look.
says. The word on the street says you just on this platform to get new followers. So that ain't true?
No, it's not true.
Okay.
The main reason why I hit the button that day was to let you know how beautiful you look with your natural hair. Do you remember that? You had your hair.
I
and
remember. I was in Atlanta. I had my natural hair that
Mhm.
day. Okay.
Yeah, and then you were saying you was in Atlanta. I just wanted to pay homage to you. But I am single, so I was totally okay with being on the show. But I simply just wanted to pay homage to you because that was the actual first time I ever seen you with your natural hair. And I was like, yo, look at Kendra.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate the compliment, but you
Yeah.
can't bullshit a bullshitter. So let me ask you this: you attract Atlanta, you got a platform. Why are you single? I don't think you have any problems with women.
No, I spent about, I would say, 2 years, 3 years focusing on business. And now I'm single.
How long you?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just pulling up, welcome to the Tough Love Podcast. I had to get into this real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat room real quick or whatever. KENDRA G. I wasn't really familiar with her. Ran across her page, and she was actually doing an interview with Mr. Let Go, a life coach out of the Atlanta area. I thought this was a very interesting topic because, the interview itself was hilarious, but I felt like KENDRA G asked Mr. Let Go a question that threw me for a loop. But it didn't throw me for a loop because it was a hard question. To me, the answer would have been simple, but Mr. Let Go kind of took it in another direction, which I was kind of interested um, in what I heard. So I want us to kind of walk through this whole live real quick, and we're gonna break down some things. So he is back on KENDRA G's platform and basically saying that, hey, I love you with the natural hair. I think you look phenomenal, and I just need to come up and tell you, X, Y, Z. He's saying, hey, you can't do this to the bullshit. I know you just here to get your platform, get the numbers and subscribers to your platform. But this is an interesting part. Who did you ask Mr. Let Go? You guys see me better now? I may have to do this a different way. Let me know if you can hear me. Mic check, mic check. I don't like that. Okay. Let me check my mics. Mic check, mic check. Okay, how does that sound? Not making me want to do this a different way. Okay, I'm good now. Okay, let's get back into this. All right. So if you're just tuning in, this is my recap on the KENDRA G versus Mr. Let Go. And it was a very interesting conversation because KENDRA G asked Mr. Let Go about him being a certified life coach. Well, a life coach. And then she asked, was he certified? And Mr. Let Go, shocked me when he said what he said. He said, no, I am not a certified life coach. So I'm going to get into that part right there, but I want you guys to kind of get the feel of the actual interview. So I'm going to play some of the interview and then we're going to get back into this. Let's go.
You've been single for?
About 2-3 years. Because like I said, I wanted to focus on everything I needed to focus on. But now I'm in a position emotionally where I'm open to actually start dating. But I literally stopped getting into relationships because I needed to focus on what I need to focus on.
Okay, so now we're getting into some of it. We're getting into some of the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Let Go says, hey, I took a break 2 to 3 years to get myself together, and that is notable. That's notable. The issue is that to take the 2 to 3 years to get yourself together, salute, I see y'all. To take the 2 to 3 years to get yourself together and still come back under the preconceived notion of life coach. And I think that it really hits home for me because I am a certified life coach. So when someone says, hey, I'm a life coach, I'm here to help people out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's always interesting to me when there's men giving women life coach advice. Even though that, especially black men, and this is not a black and white thing, but we know that there's a lot of people that know that there are a lot of homes without black male role models and fathers. So it's always interesting when you have, certified soldier. It's always interesting when you have, men that say, what, I don't just want to talk to men, I want to also empower women. Now we go back to the whole Me Too movement. We go back to the Black Girls Rock, the Melanin, songs everywhere on social media. It's a strengthening of women. There are women out there saying, I am here to make sure that I empower women and help women. So it's always interesting when you have those men that say, I want to empower women as well, to help. I always, and this is just me, because I have to give it the Derek Jackson side eye. So when I became knowledgeable of Mr. Let Go, there were some things that I agree with. There are some things that I didn't. He kind of reminded me of an Ace Metaphor, Derek Jackson. So those guys that say, what, with all of the problems that men have out there and the things that men are facing, I want to talk. And I always keep thinking about, well, what gives you the perspective that you have? Is it just your life experience, or are you certified? Do you weigh your common sense and your life experience off of what doctrine says? So when KENDRA G asks Mr. Let Go, hey, what makes you a life coach? And he's basically, I'm a self-proclaimed life coach, and I don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way about for a little while. So we can get to that part.
Okay. So again, I meet people for the first time they come on the show. So tell me your name again.
Aaron.
Aaron. Okay, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a life coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you certified as a life coach? Like, is there a course for that?
Well, there are different courses, and there is not a specific course to take or school to go to. At the end of the day, whether you go
Mr. Lego, here's some tough love for you, brother. There is a specific course that you can take. Brother, I read body language, you know what I'm saying? And right now, your body language is looking real nervous. Look, we got to do our research before we go on these forums. We got to do our research. My issue is that we had Derrick Jackson, who's basically one-dimensionalized, giving advice and making sure that he empowered women to, you know, promote his craziness. So every time I see a brother, it's like, okay, well, let me talk to women and let me give them my perspective. And my thought process, what is your perspective based on? How do you know that your perspective is the right perspective to be giving people knowledge and advice on? So when she asks him, hey, how are you certified? And he basically says right off the bat, well, there's no school you can go to. There is a school. There is a way to get certified as a life coach. There are not a lot of self-proclaimed people out there that's saying that they're a life coach. So I would advise, if you take a 2 to 3 hiatus from social media and from dating, you also look into getting the proper certification. So when you talk to people, you can say, well, hey, this is the school that I went to, and this is what it is that I, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. I weigh my perspective. All right. Jada LaRue says there is no licensing requirements, but there's definitely classes and conferences. Definitely. But see, here's the thought process. She's giving him an out. What makes you licensed? What makes your perspective warranted enough to say, hey, this is how women should act. This is how women should be better wives or better confidants or better partners. What gives you the life experience? He'll go on to say, well, you know, I'm not in a successful relationship right now, you know, and I took a 2 to 3 year hiatus. And you're saying that you took no courses on becoming a life coach, and you just now self-proclaim yourself to be a life coach. So I think it was odd, and I think it was very revealing, because I think there are a lot of men who like to talk to women on what women are supposed to do, but they have no clue really on what women are supposed to do. I mean, it's cool to say I want all women to act like how I want them to act. But how do you know that that's a real thing? How do you know that your perspective is the right perspective? And then vice versa, a female life coach telling men, oh, well, this is how men should act. What do you weigh your strategy on? What do you weigh your narrative on? And I just think that, so there's hackers, and let me see. Well, that's why we got mods. Jada LaRue says there are some of your beloved people online that have no certification and no one really asks them. Well, here's the thought process. When you go on these different platforms and someone says, well, what is your specialty? What is your professional? What is your, you know what I'm saying, level of professionalism? How did you get certified in what it is that you do? And when you say, well, you know, I have no certification, I haven't been anywhere, you know, I think for a lot of people, they would stop taking you serious. I think for a lot of people, they would stop taking you serious. But let's get back into this. It was his eye movement and all that other stuff for me. I was just like, looking kind of nervous right now, brother.
here or whether you go there, you can say it's not certification or it is or anything like that.
So what makes you a certified life coach then?
Well, I never said I was a certified life coach.
Okay.
I said I'm a life coach.
What makes you a life coach?
By everything that I've done in the last 3 years.
So, okay. So,
My body of work.
The reason I'm coming hard with the questions is because, so people send me videos. I guess you have videos talking about Black women. So what's the situation with the Black women?
See, and I think that's the problem for me. That's the problem for me, Aaron, Mr. Let Go. The issue is that if you've taken 2 to 3 years and you talk about your body of work, if your body of work does not include any type of certifications, it does not include any type of classes, then my thought process is, what makes you a life coach? Are you saying, well, based on my experiences, I'm a life coach, I can teach you about my experiences? Okay, I can rock with that. I can get jiggy with that. The issue about that is to say that I've taken 2 to 3 years to build my business, and I'm thinking that being a life coach is a part of the business that you've been kind of formulating. To me, it's just not about talking points. It's about putting in the work. It's about putting in the research. And I think that, to be honest with you, if you only have the perspective that you have, how do you know that your perspective is the right perspective to be given? You have to have something to balance your perspective on. And I think that it is kind of intrusive when you say, okay, well, I'm not a certified life coach, but I'm a life coach. Well, what makes your opinion worth listening to? What makes your advice worth getting? So Kendra G, I don't think, I'm saying surviving Kendra G, because the thought process is she's actually asking some pretty clear questions. Hey, what makes you official? And when you have nothing to say, this is what makes you official, you kind of look at them like, okay, well, are you just pimping people's pain? Are you saying, okay, I'm a life coach, so come talk to me, I can help you out? And really, if you're not in a successful relationship, can you tell other people how to be in a successful relationship? If you're not where you want to be in life, can you tell other people how to get them to where you want them to be in life? I appreciate that, Intentional Mania. Thank you very much. I mean, that's the real question. And this is no knock, and this is no shade to Mr. Let Go, but me personally, as a person that says, hey, I'm an empowerment coach. I like to talk to people, and I like to, about everything, the difficult conversation. And the only thing that makes this difficult is for us to actually sit down and listen to one another, not just reply, but actually listen and hear one another out. So if you're on that spectrum right there, okay, I got you. I just think that, when he went on her show, Kendra G's show, and she said, hey, what makes you a life coach? I think it should have been a little bit more than, my body of work, because your body of work should include some type of certifications. Let's listen to some more.
That you have.
Okay. Just like I think 2 women before the young lady before me, it was like I think 2 women back, and the situation where she was sleeping with her kid's father, and then you was like, yo, why don't you get back with him? We're not on the same page. And then she literally said that, well, I'm growing and he's not. And that is the thing that I see in our Black community way too often. So I'm simply somebody that sees a problem and I'm looking to address it and help, because it's not just me just saying y'all need to do this, do that. I actually coach, women. But at the end of the day, it's women just.
Do you coach men too? Do you talk about men and their?
Yes.
So is it just women or just men? Is both?
No, I coach men too. I just have a female coaching group, but I actually coach men also.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to come back because I saw a DM from you. You wanted to talk about women with private.
It is going to be very hard for us to live down the Derrick Jackson pandemic. I'm going to just be real with y'all. It's going to be very hard for men to live down the Derrick Jackson pandemic. It's going to, I don't care who you are, it is going to be very hard to give women advice because of the Derrick Jackson pandemic. Now, some of you guys are familiar with the Derrick Jackson pandemic. However, it is very difficult to listen to my brother, Mr. Let Go, talk about being a life coach with no credentials, with 0 credentials. I think if you've taken 2 years and you have not, yes, I said the Derrick Jackson pandemic. I just think if you've taken 2 years off to make sure that your business is solidified and you got everything in order, you have to get some type of certification. You have to take some type of class and then come back with that perspective. Hey, I went to this school or I did X, Y, and Z. I just don't think it's credible to go on a talk show and to promote being a life coach with no credentialing whatsoever. And it's kind of when she asked her the direct question, to me, kind of tap danced on it. And then she went into, well, do you talk to men as well? And it was like, yeah, I talk to men. And me, I just feel like, why do men, and maybe this question is, thank you, Edward Wright, why do men choose to say their niche is, I'm going to empower women? That always kind of like, it just makes me sit back and cringe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going back to that Derrick Jackson pandemic. Why do men who know that there are little fathers in the home, they know that men have problems, some men have problems committing to relationships, trusting women, respecting women, why not empower men? Why not coach men? Why would your niche be, let me talk to women? That's interesting to me. Salute to everybody in the chat right now. I just want to know your perspective on that. You know, why would you say, you know, I realize that there are a lot of issues with, Ladybug, I hear you. Ladybug says easy target. Easy target. You know, because we can get into the whole high value conversation, the alpha male conversation. But my thought process is, if you're a good man and you're a catch, right? Jay LaRue says women bring the moolah. Good catch, right? You're alpha male and you got everything going for you. Wouldn't you want to teach other men how to be like you? Wouldn't you want to say, hey, this is how you level up, brother? Why would you say, well, let me teach the women how to level up? They should be for not the men. Kind of like my little setback for Mr. Let Go, you know, and fully accepting his message, because I just question men that say, I want to empower women and give very little to men, especially if they know that men, they need that support. Hey, there are men out there that don't know how to tie a tie, ladies. Don't know how to fill out job applications. Don't know anything about their short-term or long-term goals. So when you have men out there say, hey, I'm willing to help you as a woman, I definitely have to sit back in my chair and kind of look at, you know what I'm saying, what makes them fundamentally sound. So when Kendra G asks that very simple question, hey, you know, what makes you certified? To me, I saw a lot of song and dance. That's just me. And I would love to do a one-on-one with Kendra G or Mr. Let Go and just kind of say, you know, why did you ask him, was he a certified coach? Does it matter? You know, we got people in the chat saying, hey, there's a lot of people that's not certified. You'd be surprised. And then, but my thing about is, can we afford as men, when we speak to women, not to be fundamentally sound, not to have a balanced message? Or can we just sit down and say, hey, today I want to be a life coach? Well, here's the thing. Will women take us serious? Will people take you serious if you're not certified in that particular area? Some people say, hey, it's plenty of people that give advice and they're not certified. What you talking about? Who you about to piss off in here? Well, I just think that when you put yourself out there to be seen and heard, you know, especially on a platform, I guess as Kendra G, you would definitely want to have some credentials behind your name. Let's listen to some more.
Pages.
Yes,
You
I
know,
just
there are
wanted to.
private pages though too. Like that's
I
not
get
just
it.
a woman thing.
I know, but my question is to anybody, male or female, if you have a private page, how do you shoot your shot when you have a private page?
It's
And I
very
just
simple.
want to understand.
You can just push the request and then they can accept you. Some people have private pages for their jobs. I know women who are professional and they have to keep a private page because they don't want their coworkers to see their personal lives, but they're very amazing women. So with private pages, I think that can go both ways. Like, you know, you could be a person who just doesn't want everybody to see your life, but the way it works is you can request them and then they could simply accept your request.
Well, if you can't tell if the person is worth requesting, a person isn't really going to do that. Like, as an example, somebody comes on this show, right? Next thing you know, you get a whole slew of people wanting to holler at you, male or female, right? If the majority of the people shooting their shot is simply saying like, yo, what's up? Or saying something, and then you go to their page.
Listen, I had to pause it. Listen, Mr. Let Go obviously went on Kendra G's page the first time, right? and said, hey, you look good with your natural hair. You look phenomenal. So there were other women that found Mr. Let Go on Instagram and obviously was like, well, let me shoot my shot. Back on KENDRA G's show to say, you're trying to holler at me, unblock your page. Why is your page private? He circled back around. Let me find out you circled back around to make sure that people can contact you. Let me find out you spent the block. You spent the block. No, but I get that. If you holler at somebody or whatever, at least make your page accessible or in a manner so that way people can kind of get a feel for you. Because what he's trying to do in a nice way, because I be judged. So let me do it. Since he don't want to be judged, he's basically saying, well, I'm not about to holler at somebody who's hiding their face. You could be anybody. You could be a stalker. You could be an ex, a stalker of an ex. So we don't want to go there. So he's basically saying, if you're going to shoot your shot at me, make sure I can see your face, which I can totally understand and I can get behind. I think the whole thing for me was, and Jada LaRue kind of said it, you know, I don't mind getting good advice, but if your brand is built on giving advice, you should have something to me to help you with being fundamentally sound, help you to balance. Because if you only have your life experience, what do you balance that off of? Like, what do you balance that off? Great thing about going to some type of school or some type of certification course is they give you a balance, something to say, okay, hey, make sure you cover this, make sure you talk about this, make sure you know the steps on this, et cetera, et cetera. So that way it helps you be fundamentally sound. Because here's the thing, you don't want a toxic person giving you advice. You don't want a narcissist giving you advice. And I think the problem is when you hear a man say, hey, I'm a life coach, we automatically give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, cool. So since we give you the benefit of the doubt, and then when you get on the platform, you say, well, you know, I'm self-proclaimed. Well, if that's the case, I'm a self-proclaimed astronaut. I'm a self-proclaimed lawyer. I'm a self-proclaimed judge. I'm a self-proclaimed dentist. I think if he would have said something like, hey, you know, I give advice out and I'm, you know, currently in pursuit of my life coach certifications, I think that would have been cool. But I just thought that, to me, she embarrassed him. You know, your brand, my question is, why go to someone that's not certified to be a life coach, but they want to give me advice? You know, I think there's people out there that have worked for that title, that have researched, that spent money, time, and energy to get that title. So to be self-proclaimed, I just think that is a level of disingenuous. I just think that is a level that you shouldn't be crossing over into if you don't want to put the work in. That's just my thought.
And it's a private page. I don't really see how that can help somebody get to where they're going.
Like going back to your analogy, life is simple. Just keep it moving. I get stuff all
That's what I do.
That I just keep moving.
Let me talk to Jada LaRue real quick. I'm about to piss somebody off. Listen, Jada LaRue, she says she did embarrass him, and that was the mission, allegedly. You know what the thought process is? You can't embarrass me when it comes to my credentials. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give y'all some love real quick. You can't embarrass me when it comes to my credentials. You say, hey, what college you went to? What degrees do you have? What's your credit score? These are my credentials. These are the things that I work for. These are the things that I have that's a part of my life, you know what I'm saying, breakdown. So when she said, are you a certified life coach? He could have easily said, yes, and this is where I got my, you know, certification from. This guy was like, but, you know, well, you really can't go nowhere to get it. No, wrong answer. And the fact that, and see, the issue is that he's been going other places with this title of life coach, and no one's asked him, well, are you what makes you a certified life coach? So you're telling me out of 2 or 3 years getting ready to talk to people and to set up your platform and do X, Y, and Z, not one time did it cross your mind that you needed to possibly get a certification? I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Salute everybody in the chat room. I can't believe that. And then then we have to do a better job at policing up other men that's giving, brother, okay, well, cool. What makes you a certified life coach? What makes you a life coach? Well, I'm a self-proclaimed life coach. Well, that should be in your title then. That should be in your title. I mean, that's honest. I don't think it would that embarrassed him. I think his response to her question embarrassed him. I don't think it was her question to him. I think it was his response to her embarrassing part. So I wanted to come and give this tough love. I wanted to come and give this breakdown, because when I say surviving Kendra G, really, hey, surviving her questions, because it was simple questions. And it's no time to pussyfoot around. It's no time to play games. Hey, this is certified. This is what makes my perspective fair and impartial and fundamentally sound. When you don't have anything to weigh your perspective on, then you're saying that your perspective alone is the right perspective. And I just feel like us as men, we have to be more responsible than that, especially when we talk about empowerment of others and helping others and giving advice. What makes your perspective sound? The intentional millionaire says tough love is certification or experience with real life examples are more important. I totally agree. I totally agree. To me, he could say I'm a life coach based on my life experience. But when he was given the opportunity to break down what makes him a life coach, it was kind of like he said, my body of work. What does that mean? That's very vague. And secondly, if you are in the Atlanta area, I know several life coaches in the Atlanta area that have been certified, have taken some type of class. I don't care if it was a night school class, a class online. I don't care if the church certified you. I really don't care. But to say, I'm just talking to people and giving advice out. The narrative of the title life coach, well, you're going to automatically think that this person is certified. You understand? Automatically be under the preconceived notion. So with Kendra G, if she knew he wasn't certified, he should have known that that question was going to come up and been better prepared for it. So that's really what this is about. That's really what this is about. If you're going to have the conversation, do the interviews, and people are going to say, well, what makes you this? That's like me saying I'm a soldier, but I ain't never been in the military. But I'm always promoting military stuff. You know, I wear the hat. I put on this pair of BDUs or ACUs or whatever, and I look the part. You're going to automatically think that, well, he must be what it is that he say he is. And then when you say, oh well, what makes you a soldier? Oh, well, I'm self-proclaimed. About to piss somebody off. I'm self-proclaimed. So you never been in no military? No. I just like how they march. I like how they march. Yeah. I like the cadences and stuff. Jetta LaRue says, I think as a life coach, you should have training. You are talking to people, whether one, oh Lord, it flipped up. And it flipped up, Jetta LaRue. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it back. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So here's my point, you know what I'm saying? And this is not to crush Mr. Let Go. It's just to say, man, we have to be it's early in the year. I think that's something that we, you know what I'm saying, that when you see something like this is something that kind of makes you sit up in your seat, in the hot seat, and say, let me get my stuff squared away. So the next time somebody asks me about my certifications, I have my certifications intact. So that's what this is really about, you guys. You know, I realize his want to be come back on her show, but it would be interesting to have a conversation with him again. You know what I'm saying? Since I really consider myself an empowerment coach more than a life coach, but I mean, it was just interesting to me, his reaction to that question, as if no one was going to ask him about him being certified or not, you know, as a life coach. You know, let's listen to some more.
You don't even make it to the next level, but I'm not sitting up here trying to convince you to do something in order to be in that level. It's just, okay, you're whatever, you kind of keep it going.
No, it was something that I wanted to know, because I was just confused, because as a life coach, you know, women shoot their shot, but I've never had that many women shoot their shot all at one time, and the majority of pages were private. So I
see, this is the problem. This is the problem, and I think everybody gonna know where I'm going with this. This is the problem. The problem is that you told people you were a life coach that wasn't certified. You went on KENDRA G's platform, right? And then people started to shoot their shot at you with private pages. So then you went back on KENDRA G's platform to tell them for the people that shooting a shot to unblock themselves so that way you can see their face. So that way you can then pursue whatever it is you're going to pursue. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is good common damn sense, bro. This is good damn common sense, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is just basic common sense stuff. I wouldn't even be using the title life coach. I'm just being honest with you. If I was him, I would not be using the title life coach, because there are credentialing avenues out there that you can go and take those things. But here's the thing. It's easy to pimp a woman. Uh-oh. I'm about to, uh-oh. Obviously, it's pimp a woman. It's easy to tell a woman what she wants to hear. I'm a life coach. Come on now. I'm a life coach. I'm getting this. I'm getting this Derek Jackson 2.0 thing. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. A life coach has a real has to have a real level of awareness when talking to people. But see, here's the thought process. The thought process is if you're using title as a life coach to get women, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to each their own. But my thought process is, well, you're not really a life coach. You're not. You can't walk into an establishment and say I'm a life coach with no credentialing behind you. I mean, if that, imagine somebody sitting in the courtroom and because they watch court TV on TV, they walk into a court hearing where I could be your lawyer. Yeah, I'm a public defender. I'm a public defender. Jenny says if he has some education, he would know that isn't very professional. And see my thought process, because I want to help him out. I really want him that going on any platform that has more than one subscriber saying that this is who I am without any credentialing, where you're talking to people about their relationships, you're talking to people about their businesses, you're talking to people about their self-worth. The thought process is, where do you get this fundamental base from? What makes you fundamentally sound? How have you weighed your narrative of right and wrong against doctrine? There is doctrine out there where people say, hey, you need to know these things in order to be a life coach, and in order to promote a level of self-awareness, in order to promote a level of empathy so you can understand a person's situation. The thing about it is, I just don't feel like he has that yet. I don't feel like he has that yet. Now I'm looking at it as great to give you advice and your perspective on the women that you've dealt with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I got it. I think that's another program, Jada. I think that's another program.
I was just like, I don't understand this. So it was something I just simply didn't understand, because overall, I would say for anybody, if they wanted to shoot their shot at anybody, I don't know, make their page unprivate while they shoot their shot, and then, you know,
like I said,
I don't know.
I disagree with that. I know amazing women who have private pages and the reasons why they keep it private. But for each their own, it's not a rule on this show. But let's go back to you, Aaron. So, Aaron, for those who don't know, you're in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your age again?
45.
45. Everyone's like, I'm not going hard. Aaron don't care. Aaron want to be on the show. Aaron want to get his followers up. He don't give a shit what I say.
Oh my God.
I'm not stupid. I know what this is about. I can sit up here and cuss him out the whole time. It wouldn't matter, because his goal is to get more followers, because that's what he's really about.
Why do you think that?
Absolutely.
Why do you
That's
think
what
that?
your brand is about. I mean, there's no,
Wait, my brand is about getting followers?
Your brand.
Hey, listen, I gotta agree. L Nixon was in the chat room when Aaron was going live talking about this or whatever. So maybe L Nixon, you let me know how you feel in the chat. But I feel what KENDRA G is saying. You know what I'm saying? I understand you're trying to grow your platform. I get it. No, and there's no knock to that. You know, salute to everybody growing a platform. I'm just saying that us as men, when we start talking to men and women and we're giving advice and we use certain titles, those titles come with certain certifications. And if you're not certified in those areas, okay, cool. You're in the pursuit of those certifications. I got it. I'm with that. The issue is that when you're talking to KENDRA G, right? Whether you're saying, hey, I like you in your natural hair, etc. So that was one thing. And you say, okay, I'm gonna come back because when I went on KENDRA G's platform the first time, women saw me, they saw that I was a life coach and they started shooting their shot on Instagram, but their pages was blocked. So then you come back and you're giving this announcement. If you want to shoot your shot, this is what you're saying in layman terms. If you want to shoot your shot at me, please make your page public so I can see your face and know if I want to pursue anything or not. That's how it comes across, okay? That's how it comes across. But the issue that I have is the fact that when she says, what makes you a certified life coach? He says, well, I'm a self-proclaimed life coach. You know, and I'm like, what you mean self-proclaimed? Like, what you mean self-proclaimed? You see what I'm saying? And that kind of, I'm scratching my head because I am familiar with Mr. Let Go. I've seen a couple of his videos. Really, the last time I really checked for him was when he was talking to Ace Metaphor. And to me, Ace Metaphor is a extension of a Derek Jackson. But I heard some things that I could agree with, I could get behind, but I had no idea that him being a life coach meant that he had no certifications. So for me, after the KENDRA G interview, if you want to call it an interview, I would have definitely ran and say, let me get a certification. Let me go ahead and apply to some type of program that would make me a certified life coach. Because anything else moving forward would be uncivilized. Anything uncivilized. You know what I'm saying? True Mystique says people don't want their business out there. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? L. Nixon says, ironically, she went live with Kevin, then immediately went on her platform and ran with it for a week. She done the same. This is about KENDRA G, but it's not about KENDRA G. I don't think what she was asking him was hard questions. The response that Aaron was given, that Mr. Let Go was given, to me didn't seem very confident. It wasn't confident because he didn't have anything backing him up. He didn't have any type of schooling. He didn't have any type of training. It was all based on self-proclaim. Now, anybody can self-proclaim anything. So the issue is that now you're letting this woman back you into a corner. You can't back me into a corner when my credentials are solid. You can't back me into a corner. And this is my message to Mr. Let Go. They can't back you into a corner when your credentials are solid. Yes, I'm a certified life coach. I said what I said. But when you can't say that, well, I'm self-proclaimed based on my body of work. Well, what is your body of work? Giving advice to broken women? What is your body of work? Talking to women saying, hey, I'm a life coach, and that's your way in to have the conversation with women? Because here's my thought process, especially when you come across people that are fundamentally sound, both men and women. When you sit down and have a conversation with them, they normally want to know what makes your perspective fundamentally sound. How do you arrive at your perspective about what men should be, what women should be? Yeah, cool. We can use what you heard third party, but how do you know this? How have you weighed your perspective? And a lot of people have not balanced their perspective off of anything that was based on doctrine. It's all about emotions. It's all about feelings. And it's not anything about, okay, these are the facts. These are the facts. If you're going to give me advice, I need to know that it's going to be fundamentally sound advice. There's a lot of toxic people giving out bad advice, a lot of narcissistic people giving out bad advice. Not saying that Mr. Let Go is one of those people. I'm just saying that when she asked for credentialing, this is your chance to shine. And when you could not arrive to the occasion, now it makes people look at you like, well, you just giving out advice. You know, you giving that advice like you at the gym, but you're not a certified trainer and you just start working out 2 weeks up before I start working out. But you now want to give me you know what I'm saying, these techniques and et cetera, et cetera. But what really makes you certified? Something to think about. Something to think about. Let's get back into it. Salute to the chat, man. I appreciate y'all.
You are about building your brand. I do not believe you are seriously trying to find a woman to take serious and be a wife with on the show. I believe you're on the show to continuously build your brand. That is your first goal. A woman is not your first goal. You want to become bigger and more popular. That is your primary goal right now. So you get in what you want, regardless of what I say, because you won the show. I'm not stupid, though. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. What if you're wrong? Just a question.
I'm definitely, because listen, if I was wrong, you would have a woman. There's no reason you're attractive, you a self-proclaimed coach. There's plenty of women that can fall into the category that you could date, but that's not your desire. Your desire is to build your.
Somebody tell Mr. Let Go pull up. Tell him tough love in the building. First of all, she wouldn't have never ever said to me a self-proclaimed coach. This is what I'm talking about, Mr. Let Go. This is the shot that she's taking at you. Once you said you was not certified, brother, and she said self-proclaimed coach, right now she's tearing up your title. You see what I'm saying? So moving forward, women are going to say you're not even certified. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not even the fact that she's taking shots at you. It's the fact that you can't even say, hold on, wait, stop, pause. I'm a certified life coach. We're not going to play these games. You see what I'm saying? And so now it's like you at the mercy of her to just listen to her. You know what I mean? Listen to her go at you. And I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, us as men, first of all, we need to stick together and we need to teach one another and help one another and build one another. And I would not be the man that I am if I didn't say, Mr. Let Go, please go get a certification. 30 days you in. If you need somebody to help you out, let me know, and I'll definitely get you where you need to be. But I do not want to see you go on another platform and a woman asks you, hey, what makes you a life coach? And you say, I'm self-proclaimed. No, because I went to this class or I've taken this course, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It don't have to be anything where you pay $900 for. Just get it and put it on the wall. Right now, she's taking shots at not only you, but every single man that says I'm a life coach. Because now the question is, well, are they do they have credentials? Because he doesn't have credentials. And we're giving advice to women and we're giving advice to men for the betterment and the empowerment of their relationships, both professional and personal. We have to have what makes us fundamentally sound. We have to be able to say, when you ask us a simple question like, what makes you certified? These are our credentials. Hey, look them up on my website, et cetera, et cetera. But when you don't have that, that means we're just talking. That means we're just talking. That means we're just pimping people for their pain. That means we're just telling people what they want to hear. It's too early in the year for us to be starting the foolery and fuckery. It's too early in the year. It's too early. There's nothing funny about this. It's nothing cute about this. We need to make sure we step in front of that we have the basis of knowledge that we need to be fundamentally sound. I always said that Derrick Jackson to me was a one-dimensional brother. You are educated, you can sit down, you can articulate, but you're using your platform to promote women when you know that there are men out there that need to be groomed, men out there that need to be led, men out there that need to understand what it means to be a provider, protector, and role model. But you choose to say, let me increase the empowerment for women. And then you start putting yourself on a God tier, allowing these women to believe that you are the men, the good man, instead of the bad men that you talk about. But you are a part of the narrative. Now, at one point in time, it says, hey, I'm the man that I speak about. So really, you promoted a one-dimensional message. And I noticed that a lot of these men that talk to women, they promote a one-dimensional message. And now it's to a point where we don't even need certifications, because as long as you're telling women things to make them feel good, they will pay you. They will pay you donations. They will pay you in reference to subscribers and sharing with their friends. So my advice is, if I'm going to provide tough love, let's stop pimping people's pain. Let's stop pimping people's pain. Let's do what we need to do to be in the positions of entitlement that we say we are about, in regards to saying, well, I'm a life coach, I'm an empowerment coach, and I'm a this coach, and I'm a that coach. Are you fundamentally sound? Are you promoting a balanced message? Or are you just saying, well, I know it's some bad men out there, so this is how I can get in your draws. Uh-oh. 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 She talks a lot. Kendra G talks a lot about Mr. Let Go's brand. And I would never want someone to think that my brand was hopping on people's platform, telling people I was a self-proclaimed life coach, and talking about people's private Instagram pages and how they need me with a public page in order to be getting recognition. Don't mix the two. Don't mix the two. Thank you, L. Nixon. Thank you. Don't mix the two. I'm hoping that he sits down now. I'm hoping that he hears this. Do not mix the two. Do not ever mix the two. If you're here to empower people, to help people, to give them a sense of understanding about their self-worth, the direction they need to hold in life or go in life, hey, the fact that they're in the mud and they need to get up out the mud and take that first step, even though it's going to be difficult, whether that's love again, investments, having children, traveling, becoming an entrepreneur, whatever it is your niche is to promote in life coaching, you need to have the certification to back it. If you don't have it, go get it. Forget the interviews, forget the attention, forget all of it. Take the time to go get it, because when you don't go get it, it makes me question who you are, questioning the genuineness of the things that you're trying to do. Stop pimping people's pain. They say, hey, certification won't change the true intentions of the life coach. If anything, it commands a certain level of inherited trust. I definitely, I get it. I understand. I get it. But see, here's the thought process, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm going to go on a platform like Kendra G, hell, Cynthia G, Nyla Says, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I say that my title is life coach. And then they say, well, what? Okay, well, how did you get that title? You know, do you have any schooling? What's backing you to say? And I say, well, I'm self-proclaimed. They laughing all the way to the bank. They laughing. They're laughing because it's like, what? What? Come on now. What? Huh? I mean, the thing about it is, don't mix the two. Don't mix it. If you're a life coach and you here to help people, cool. But don't say, you know, I'm coach. And then, because here's the thing, this is how the interview comes across. It's like, I'm saying I'm a life coach to get close to the girls. I'm saying I'm a life coach to make sure women are around me. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. I'm just saying, it's like I have this life coach niche that I use to get closer to women. And as long as I do something, because here's the thing, regardless of what people say, like whether you're stroking women's ego and gaslighting and being a simp for a woman, women like that. But women also like a man that's going to do something fiery. And Aaron comes across as a guy he's going to say something a little bit edgy to make women feel a certain type of way. You know, I'm hoping he understands it's tough love. It's just all love. He's going to say something edgy to make women feel a certain type of way. But my thought process, this is just based on your feelings. This is based on your emotions. There's nothing of doctrine behind what you're saying. This is just how you feel. And that's cool. This is how you feel. But what makes your feelings worthwhile? What makes your feelings good? I remember that song, I'm Just a Nobody. Yeah, I remember that song. You know, and this is not no knock to anybody, but I'm just saying, if we're out here trying to promote, thank you again. If we're out here trying to promote these titles, and these titles are where people can come to get a certain level of reprieve, a certain level of understanding, a certain level of awareness, then we need to make sure that we are to give the best response. And I just don't feel like right now he's in a great position to give the best response because of the response that he was giving back to Kendra G. It was almost as if he was uncomfortable. you know, and you should never be uncomfortable with who you are if that's how you're making your money on, I'm gonna be honest with you, pimping people's pain. Let's get back to it.
Your career. That's your. Listen. I'm not even judging you.
I did say that though.
Love, but that's what you want.
Yeah, but I did say that. I agree with you on that.
Okay.
I did say I spent the first 3 years building my career.
The difference though is my show is about finding love. I don't believe you're here to find love. You're here to build your brand. So that's the difference. You're not up here to look for a girl to DM you that you want to take serious. You want to be on the show to build your platform. So let's just be clear.
Let me say this. The first time I wanted...
First time, second time, third time, whatever time.
Yeah.
That's the time.
This time, I just wanted to be honest with you, the first time I wanted to figure out what this whole thing is with private pages, because it was something
we passed that.
Yeah, it was something that I think that I wanted to know. And then the second thing is I wanted to pay homage to you. Okay. So me coming here this time was simply to just pay homage to you. And yeah.
Hey, Aaron, you try to get some booty, though. Bro, listen, you already told the lady, that you liked her in her natural hair. You told her that you came on. Then after women saw you paying homage to her, I guess they wanted their chance to get homage paid to them. But they hit you up. Okay, they hit you up on your Instagram, and then you went to go check their pages, and the page was private. So then you went back on Kendra G's page and say, "Hey, look, I'm back again, y'all." You know what I'm saying? I'm about to piss somebody off. Then you went back on her show, right, to say, "Hey, I'm back again." You know what I'm saying? If y'all trying to holler at me, make sure that y'all unblock your page. Come on, bro. Come on now. Let's just be real, man. I would have just been real straight up. Like, hey, I got a lot of attention from being on your show, and this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I don't think it's all of that pay homage and all of that other shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that you're not pimping a life coach title. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that you're not pimping the life coach title, because I'm just saying that there are a lot of people out here that need guidance, support, understanding, and I just feel like, you know, there are a lot of people taking advantage of people that have been through stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when you mix the life coach title into, you know, block Instagram pages, you know, it makes you sit back in your seat like, what is this guy really about, to be honest with you? You know, but I honestly can tell you that if I was to do an interview with Mr. Let Go, I could tell you that it would be very interesting. It would be very interesting. But I truly believe that you went on there to get your numbers up. That's one. And I don't think it's all about paying homage to her, to be honest with you, or whatever. She didn't seem that interested, to be honest with you. And she definitely wanted to go for the jugular. But I'm telling you right now, especially as a man life coach, a male life coach, or whatever case be, you know, we have to be, we have to do better. You know, we have to do better, because there are so many things weighing against what we say and how we say it that we have to be correct the first time. And I do believe that her question about your certifications as a life coach, I think it derailed your platform, you know, and this is at the beginning of the year. So now you have to go get certified. You see what I'm saying? Because women and men would look at you like, well, what are you really in this for? Are you in this to use this title? Is this a good conversational piece? You think people will listen to you if you use this title? There's so many narratives that you can spin with this. So my thought process to Mr. Let Go, or advice, would be to go get your certifications. Go get some certifications, so the next time you go on a platform and they say, well, what makes you a life coach, you can then lay out your credentials instead of your self-proclaimed knowledge.
But overall, I am single. But if that's what
you're gonna be single for a minute. You're not trying to be nobody's man. You're gonna.
Why not though?
It's very easy to see. I can see it right through you easily.
But Kendra,
you're not trying to make nobody your girl. You're gonna be single. Being single works in your favor.
Why?
Because it makes more women, a lot of women that probably follow you for life coach options probably might have a crush on you, might like you. So you being single and not a married man makes them have hope that they might one day get to be with you. So being a single man in your fields is a benefit. I don't see you marrying anybody or settling down with a woman, period.
Let me say that. Let me say this. One, I was married before.
Okay.
I want to be married again. Okay. I want to be one of those folks who are like together on social media, doing different dances or talking about their relationships. Like the dude, I forgot his name. I think Devon or something like that. And I love stuff like that. So that is something I'm looking for. But with what I do, is actually a little bit harder since I've been actually in the market for a relationship, which has been the last, I would say, year. And I've been dating because when you heard all these different stories and, you know, trauma, all this and that, and there's certain cues that you may actually see in a woman that the typical person wouldn't see. And I'm sitting here thinking like, I see something in her. There may be.
Some of you guys are hitting the nail on the head. See, that was his counter, though. What makes you, what makes you a certified matchmaker? Now pull up now. What that would have been my if you are questioning the validity of me being a life coach, what makes you a certified matchmaker? Is it just saying I'm a matchmaker? Hey, I'm for the celebrities. I'm for the average Joe or the average at best. What makes you a certified matchmaker? You see what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, it was no pushback because he was steadily on the defense the whole time, and he didn't have to be on the defense. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation one-on-one. Let me teach you how to do this, right? You're going on a show. This is his second time being on the show, so there's no reason he wouldn't know what type of energy that she provides. You're going on the show. You want to outline, okay, who you're going to talk to, and what do they do when they get turned up? What type of questions they ask or whatever, and then making sure that you are prepared to answer. The entire interview, Aaron was on the defense. At no point in time there was one time. There was one point in time that he actually hung her up because she was trying to go to this whole he wouldn't date somebody that had children and didn't want to be married. It was something like that. We're going to hear it. We're going to hear it. But she definitely, she was trying to tie him up, and she actually tied herself up in doing so. But that wasn't his doing. That was her doing because she was trying to say so much. She tied herself up. But that would have been my thought process. That would have definitely been my thought process, is what makes you a certified matchmaker? You know, what makes you a good judge of character? And I think he really would have started the conversation off balanced from that point, because now she would have been like, oh, he ain't to be played with. He ain't to be messed with. You know what I'm saying? He ain't to be messed with. But see, here's the thing, is especially when you have men, and whether we want to call it or not, but it's men versus women. That's what this is. And it's like, okay, girl, yeah, she really getting them. But the thought process is she's asking him about him. You're not gonna make me stutter based on me. Now, if you start talking about maybe trigonometry, okay, I might sit back in the chair for a minute and have to think this through. But when you talk about yourself, you should never stutter or have a sense of the way you lack confidence. And I felt like, even as a life coach, I don't know what his advice would have been to me, but my advice to him was, bro, you got to get credentialed. You got to get some type of certifications, because that's what she's using to derail your argument. She put him on blast. You're exactly right. She put him on blast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ricky, man. I see you, man. Jenny, I see you. I see you guys. I just think that it's a lot of men who want to talk to women. But then when they get the opportunity, this happens. And that's what I want to do. I would just want to give my brothers, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit pro bono, and just say, hey, bro, you know, I'm gonna do this, you know what I'm saying, for free. When you're going to a platform make sure you know yourself. You know your short-term goals, your long-term goals. You know what it is that you're currently working on. You know the last book that you read. You know the last place that you traveled. You have certain things in place so that way you come across as well put together and well-rounded. You can't be just pulling things out the air and hope that nobody understood what you said. Because she kind of gave him like, what you mean self-proclaimed? She gave him this look like, you got to be joking. You got to be playing now. You got to be playing.
Be some issues there, and I may actually pull away. So because of what I do, it actually makes it harder because sometimes you know too much. Have you ever heard of that? You know too much or you've seen too much? I think that's where I'm at.
So so the question I have for you, life coach, why are you attracting women that are damaged and not the women who are complete? Because there's plenty of women that don't have issues that can come to you whole, but from what you're telling me, you're not attracting that type of woman. So you as a life coach got to figure out why you keep attracting damaged women and not women that are already together.
It's not necessarily I'm attracting damaged women, and that could be part of it, period. But at the end of the day, it's certain things that you just pay attention to, and I can actually be wrong about it, because it's one thing about coaching somebody and they're actually divulging, you know, what has happened to them or what went on with them or how they feel about certain things like abandonment issues or whatever. But it's different when you're actually dating somebody and they may not even know what may be going on in their mind or, you know.
This is what I love about the Tough Love platform. Mr. Let Go, when you check this out, and I'm sure you will, this is what I want you to look at the comment section or whatever, because you have people rattling for you right now. They are rattling for you right now, brother. And I'm not even mad. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're saying that she's bringing the wrong type of energy to the interview. Pimp, player hater. She's bringing, you know, the wrong type of energy. But my thought process is, man, nothing that she's doing should make you feel uncomfortable. Nothing that what she's saying should make you feel rattled, you know. And I definitely, you know, hope that the next interview that you have, you speak with a high level of confidence to let everybody know that we'll view either live or on the replay that you brung your A game. And I just felt like you didn't bring your A game. I don't know if you didn't want to rattle her because you were actually feeling her. You find her attractive. You want to collabo with her. So sometimes people don't bring their A game. They ain't saying off with your head. They don't promote a high level of savagery. I get it. I understand. But I'm about to piss somebody off. You representing me, bro. Did you hear me? Let me say this again for the people in the back. I say you representing me. You representing us. You represent us. So given the opportunity to represent us, well, hey, Mr. Let Go has to be as good as Tough Love. Tough Love has to be as good as Mr. Let Go. That means when I go in there, I need to be prepared. That means when she's asking me questions about self, then I need to be able to reply with the questions of the self, the answers of the self. No one should know me better than I know I. I'm just saying. You know, we have an opportunity to showcase that men can have conversation with women and be confident. Men can have conversations with women and give direction. Men can have conversation with women and comprehend and have understanding, can have the tough conversation. Well, KENDRA G, even if she came with a lot of extra energy as a man, you a life coach, player. You a life coach. You know how to handle people's energy. You know how to give direction. You know how to set a game plan. You know how to tell people, hold on, maybe we should look at this a different way based on X, Y, and Z. If you ain't got the X, the Y, and you always promoting the Z, well, damn. Go get your certifications. You see what I'm saying? That way, when people come at you with this type of energy or whatever case to be, you know how to combat it and be smooth about it. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna make you feel uncomfortable. Because it's almost like, baby, come here. Let me rub your hair, baby. Come here. Let me give you a massage. Because right now, you really hype right now. You shouldn't be that hype. Because I would have told her, I said, whoa, I said, let's have this conversation. I said, you seem like you got a lot of energy for me. Why is that? What's getting your boots in the knockers? What's alerting you right now? You know, I want us to have a conversation where this could be a truth moment, a growth moment. You know, don't let her smack you around, Aaron. Don't do it, Aaron. Okay? Fight back. That's what I'm saying, brother. Fight back. Okay.
That their past is actually or whatever. And next thing you know, I'm like, I may see something that they may not see, or I may be wrong about something that I may see. Because sometimes I could actually be wrong.
My thing with that is everyone's going to have issues. You know, anybody that's in a relationship, nobody's perfect. So you always want more good than bad. But I say this all the time on the show. The person you desire exists. You know, the woman that fits all the qualities that you want, and like I said, not damaged, and could come to you whole and complete, and whatever the case may be, she exists. She's walking around this world. The question is, why are you not attracting her? So it's something about you that's not attracting that type of woman.
Okay, I could take that. I could take that. But one thing I want just people to know, that it's not about followers. I actually had all that. You know,
had, but
so
okay, had, we ain't talking about had, we talking about now. You trying to get back to what you had, so you can't. Come on now, come on. Okay. If I had a show with 300 people, you wouldn't have sent me a DM saying you wanted to come back on the show to talk about private pages. We talked about that in the DMs. That's not a thing to come on the show. So we can continue on, but you're not going to sit up here and act like you're not trying to build your brands. Like, we're not going to play that game. It's the end of the year. We about to be in 2022.
But see, this is a thought process. When you talk about, obviously, Mr. Let Go has a brand. KENDRA G has a brand. Tough Love has a brand. Intentional Millionaire, Ricky Manna, Jada LaRue. Like, we all have brands that we're promoting and we're marketing. So anytime we speak, we're promoting our brand. The issue is that, you know, you're talking to someone, and I don't know how much information Mr. Let Go, Aaron knows about KENDRA G. But to me, he should have checked her credentialing. Like, he should have knew who he was talking to, because right now he has nothing to come back with. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's having a blind conversation, and it's like, I am just trying to hang on. Help me, please. Please help me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, like, bro, pass me the baton, brother. Let me get in here. Tag me, bro. I'm here. I'm here. You know, I don't really have an issue with looking at interviews like this. I just feel like, you know, this is a great opportunity for men and women to have a great conversation. And I hate to feel like, you know, especially someone to me in the whole life coach arena, they get bested. And I felt like, you know, I don't think he's proud of this conversation. And whereas the next person that comes on KENDRA G's show, hell, I hope it's me, because I'm telling you right now, it would be a great conversation. Because I'm hoping that she is ready for the smoke, just like she gives the smoke. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Let Go, I'm hoping that your platform continues to grow. Same thing with KENDRA G. I just felt like the responses to her answers were not, her questions were not hard, but your responses made her look like she was asking you trigonometry. You know what I'm saying? And I felt embarrassed for you, brother. I'm just be real with you. I felt embarrassed for you, whatever. And to me, you know, these are examples that's going to be used for, you know, conversation. You know, look at how these life coaches that are uncredentialed, you know, that lack credentialing, you know, act. And are you in it for the money? Are you in it for the money? Something to think about. But KENDRA G, Mr. Let Go, feel free to pull up. Feel free.
He's more, and you're not the only one, first of all. Okay, I'm gonna be calling everybody out that does that, because there's several people.
But KENDRA, could it just be you?
No, it is me. You are here from the platform, so it's definitely me.
I get what you're saying, but could it be build a relationship with you? Not trying to get with you, But
Yeah,
simply last time you was in Atlanta.
Yeah, you
remember this.
to build your brands. Absolutely. A lot of people want to
What
build
I'm
a relationship to build their
But what I'm
brands.
saying is, last time you was in Atlanta,
Yeah,
I
but
just want you to
I don't
think,
know you
yeah.
in life. Why would I just get up and I don't know you at all. I'm gonna get up and go meet you
That's not the
somewhere.
point. What happens is you get to know somebody in one way, and then you run into them, or you get to know them another way, and
This ain't
next
a
thing
get
you
to
know,
know
a
show.
relationship builds
My
up.
show ain't get to know. It's you looking for love. It's a dating show. It's not a get to
Yeah, I
know
get what
show.
you're saying.
It's not a meet Kendra, let's be friends show. It's the show you come on when you're looking for love. So no, that
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
But yeah, I did say I wanted to pay homage to you when you had your natural hair. You was looking great. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So yeah.
But listen, let me tell you something. You got something that women like. So well wishes to you, best wishes to you. If there is a woman what are the things you do desire in a woman?
I want a woman who wears her natural hair 90% of the time. I want a woman that is about femininity and not being strong.
I'm seeing a lot of conversation in the chat room. There's a lot of back and forth in the chat room. Let me address something real quick. Check this out. Sexy Slim, I see what you're saying. You're right, her energy. But here's the thought process, right? Here's the thought process. He should be able to handle it. You understand what I'm saying? But he can't be dominant in this conversation because he lost ground in this conversation. You know what I'm saying? So right now, he's just hanging on. That's why she feels like, hey, I can come at you any type of way because you don't have the credentials to back up what you say your title stands for. That's why she's doing it. L. Nixon, that's why she's doing it. You see what I'm saying? Even with the eye rolling and how her body language is and the verbiage that she's using, the thought process is he identified that. You know what I'm saying? I can and it made other people look at it. He said he could have said, I could tell by your body language, you know, and how you're coming at me, you know what I'm saying, that you got a lot of energy for this topic. You understand what I'm saying? And let other people now say, oh yeah, she is doing too much. She is doing too much. Uncle Stu, I appreciate it, man. Happy New Year. You see what I'm saying? But he could not take control or have a dog in the fight because he lost his ground. He lost his ground. Self-proclaimed cosmetology. I'm just saying, and this is what happens with us in conversation sometimes between men and women and men and men. Lose your ground in a conversation, it's really hard for you to get it back. And some people have this look on their face like they're just trying to hang. This is one of those, I'm just trying to hang on and get this done. I'm trying to say I'm paying homage. I'm trying to, you know, stroke your ego. I'm trying to do whatever I can so that way, you know, I can get through this thing safely. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, again, when you are saying that you coach people with empowerment, build, understanding self-worth, they have to look and see that confidence within you. It needs to be you speak, to be able to articulate and speak with authority. And I just feel like right now, there's no authority. Like he's not speaking to her with authority. He's not speaking to her with confidence. It's almost like, you know, she's coming in the house is like, who drunk all the milk? And he's like, well, I'm just trying to explain, but you won't talk. You don't say nothing. She giving me this mama got the belt vibe.
And independent, because there is a drastic difference in how you operate, you know, because if a woman is at her job all the time and they feel like they have to be masculine and strong and independent or whatever, it's a good possibility that you're not really going to be able to or want to turn it off when you come home, because I think you are here just like you are there. So a woman that is fit, a woman that works out all the time, a woman that takes care of her body, a woman who eats right, and a woman that has been married before. You know, a single mom, that's okay. I'm not saying, you know, she has to be this and that, but I am going to be vigilant on wondering why, one, why you're not with your kid's dad. You turn around and say, oh, he's a loser because he didn't have no job. That's going to tell me that, okay, you make poor choices. So
look at her
yeah,
face.
so
Look at
single
her
mom is
face.
cool, but I want to know your choice,
listen,
your decision
let me
making.
pause you there for a second, okay? Because I know you've been married and you got divorced, right?
Yeah.
So I think you said this last time. You look at women differently who have kids that had what that was once a wife opposed to never married, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm understanding of that, but sometimes, okay, you got married, I got divorced, whatever reason, didn't work out. What if a woman didn't get married? Did you guys have your kids after you were married? Okay, you had your kids after you were married. Okay, so what if a woman didn't marry her child's father because she knew eventually she would get a divorce?
Oh, no. We had before we got married.
Okay, so you had kids before you got married. So you and your child's mother decided to still get married, but still end up getting a divorce. Why do you feel like you're better than the woman that got divorced?
Back.
I'm not.
Fight back. But you're judging her because you're saying you want a woman that was once an ex-wife. I think
my job is to judge. As individuals, I want somebody that makes the best decisions, period. Just like
to marry a person that you eventually gonna divorce. So a person should get married just
what?
You got divorced. You're not married to your child's mother, and you told me y'all had kids before. Hold on, pause. You got married before y'all had kids before you got married, correct? Okay, so let's say there's a woman in that dynamic that she had a baby by a guy, but let's say why would she marry him knowing that it's not gonna last? Like it makes more sense to marry a man that you.
But why have a?
I think you did it wrong. Y'all got married just to say y'all was married. It sounds like.
But why have a baby with somebody that you don't want to marry?
Ask yourself that question. You did that. Ask yourself that question. Why'd you have?
Well, you know what? Let me say this because this actually, because I don't want anybody to think it's a double standard. But
you had a baby.
Well, listen.
Was married. So
I get it.
Don't ask. No. Pause.
No, men and women double standard, not my double standard. Okay, go ahead.
You said to the woman, why would you have a baby before being married to somebody? You did that. So you answered the question. That's exactly what you did. You had a baby without being married first. The
answer to that question is I control marriage as the man. That's why I'm saying I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to be like hypocritical.
A woman has to say yes. How you don't control it. A woman has to agree to marry you.
Kendra, if we don't have kids together, unless I'm straight a trashy dude, if I ask you to marry me.
Listen, if you control marriage, why don't you got a wife? If you control marriage,
I just told you why.
That woman, because she don't want you then. Because basically the woman you want don't want you then, right?
Huh? Okay.
Basically the woman that you desire doesn't want you because you control marriage. So you can get married, but you haven't found the one that you want to marry. So the woman you desire don't want you, basically.
You do know it takes a lot to actually find a wife, right?
No, it doesn't. It don't take that hard. It's not that hard. It isn't that hard.
Mr. Lego, this is where I'll come in and I'll give you tough love, brother. I want you guys to hear me in the chat room, and I want Mr. Lego to hear me. You're letting her out-talk you because you're trying to keep up with the same pace as what she's dishing out. You should have slowed the conversation down, okay? Slowed the conversation down. When she said it's not that hard to find a wife, okay? You should have asked, you married, have you found a husband? And it's not a tit for tat, but here's the thought process is, what makes you say it's not that hard for me to find a wife when you haven't found a husband? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just trying to give you some common sense 101. Common sense 101. You know what I'm saying? Conversation 101. She's talking and she's throwing a bunch at you, and you're trying to answer everything she's saying. What you should have did was take it from the standpoint of saying, if you were giving someone advice, right, from a life point perspective, from a life coach perspective, and you said, hey, you know, I come to you and I say, hey, I'm in a dating market and I'm looking to find a wife. What advice would you give me in order to find a wife? And that's the narrative that you should have relayed to her, where I'm looking for a woman who is like this, who meets this criteria, who does this, who has this level of education. Hey, X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. broke it down, slowed it down, and just chopped it out. What you did was you jumped in a rat race and you was walking. So now she's spitting a lot of stuff at you, and you're kind of like, you're trying to take everything. You should have said, well, let's just slow this thing down so I can have a conversation with you as a man. Because here's the thought process. You could have said, hey, I'm very picky. You know, I got a divorce or whatever case to be. So right now, you know, I'm very picky on who it is that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And that's not going to be anything that I rush and go do. I don't care how many women are around me. I haven't found the woman for me. So I think that there was a better way to answer that question in order, you know, instead of just feeling like, you know, you have to answer like you're trying to answer every syllable. Forget every question. You're trying to get to every syllable she's saying, and she's really just throwing at a bunch of stuff at you because you haven't took the dominant role in the conversation. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. All right.
Now, if you meet that right person, yeah, but if you meet that right person, that from here to there,
you standard of a woman. Well, no, that woman that you desire, the woman you actually.
But Kendra, just remember, the man controls marriage. So if I get a woman pregnant,
right? But listen, this is what makes me laugh.
Marry her.
But listen,
okay.
This is what makes me laugh when single and I'm gonna give you attractive men come on the show. If y'all control it, why you single on my show looking for love? If you control it, you should have a wife. So therefore, somebody don't want to marry you because the woman that you want don't want you. Because woman that wants to marry you, you don't want to marry her. So I'll give you that. There's women that probably will marry you, but you don't want to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
So this back. Kendra G, this would have been my pushback if you would have said that. You know, the woman that I want don't want to marry me. Okay. How do you know I've met the woman that I want to marry? What gives you the impression that I've met the woman that I want to marry, but she doesn't want to marry me? You ever heard of exposure? You ever heard of networking? You ever heard of changing your circle, getting out there and kind of, you know, letting people be aware that you even exist? There are a lot of potential candidates for marriage, both men and women, right? However, you have to be exposed to those people. You have to know where those people are. You have to be where those people are at. So when you have someone like the Kendra G that says, hey, I have a singles platform and I promote, you know, love and I promote relationship, etc. This may be a platform where I can meet them because I may not meet them at my local grocery store, at my gym, or at my church. So this is where Aaron comes in as a life coach and says, well, here's the thought process. You know, even though I meet women on a daily basis, the women that I'm interested in, they do not go to where it is that I actually frequent at. So I would have to go out a little bit further, maybe to a different type of lounge or bar or a different type of happy hour or different type of functions or whatever case may be. So this is where he explains to her the advice that he would give to somebody else that him himself uses. I don't think that it's not even that he wasn't even prepared for the conversation. It's like his foundation as a life coach has not been challenged. And I don't think it's been challenged to the point where it's balanced enough to even speak on. It's like, I'm going to give you my one-sided narrative and how I feel, and then we're going to run off of that. So everything that he says as a life coach is basically his feelings and emotions, how he feels about it. See what I'm saying? Because my thought process, are you trying to get with Kendra? Are you trying to say whoever's shooting a shot at you need to have a public page so that way you can see them? Like it's a lot going on top of trying to promote this whole title of life coach. To me personally, you should have took the life coach narrative out and just had a conversation with her, man versus female, and just talked about, you know, what you're looking for in reference to love, because she's using your life coach credentialing to basically dismantle you and your character for making the right decision, which totally is the narrative of being a successful life coach. What y'all think down in the comments?
But clearly, the woman you want to marry don't want to marry you, and that's why you don't got a wife.
But what if I haven't met the woman that I want to marry?
Huh?
I want you to, because I think you're circling this. I have not met.
I'm not circling.
I have not met the woman that I want to marry.
Child.
I have not met a woman that I'm like, yo, I want to marry. And I'm like, I want to marry you. And she said no, or I gave her a ring and she said no.
Is the woman that you would want to marry don't want to marry you. That's the point.
How? I haven't. You said I haven't married yet?
No, the woman that you want to marry does not want to marry you. That's the
how.
I think that was an ugly statement. And this is where he should have turned up. Not turned up disrespectfully, but how can you say the woman that I want to marry doesn't want to marry me? I'm gonna let that breathe. Let me let that marinate for a minute. I would have hit her with a "How dare you?" First of all, you don't know me like. Let's get into that. I'm about to. I'm trying not to piss nobody off, but I'm about to. Like Kendra G, like it's cool that you do the little radio thing. You know, I seen a couple posts you made or whatever. But hold on, ma'am. Pump your brakes, sister. Pump your brakes. How many men do you have beating down your door that are eligible bachelors that are successful saying that they want to marry you, Kendra G? Because the thought process, if you're only coming across me in regards to, this particular interview, then you don't know me. You don't know how many women want to marry me. But for you to say a woman that I want does not want to marry me, I think that's a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You reaching there. I think what you're doing right now is you're setting this tone that I'm a scrub. Wait a minute, hold on. And I'm saying, Mr. Lego, I don't know if you caught it in the moment, but I'm just saying right now, bro, she's saying you a scrub. The women you want don't want you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we cannot have of insubordination. Mr. Lego, we cannot have that type of insubordination. You know what I'm saying? This little light of mine, knick-knack, paddywhack, Mary had a little lamb. We can't have that, bro. You need to fight back immediately. What's faster than immediately? Now. I'm just saying. You letting her life coach you to death. To death do you part. You are leaving, brother. You are leaving earth. I can see your soul behind you saying, you should have did more. Reach out and touch somebody's life coach. This is crazy.
Because
how?
Her.
I have not met her yet.
You haven't met a girl that has natural hair, that's feminine, that
I want to marry.
So I guess so
that I want to marry.
Yeah, so okay. It's your life. I don't really
see. She got stuck. She got stuck. She got stuck.
I guess you're cool with not having a wife then. Yeah, you're cool with not having a wife.
No. I've been like wanting to get remarried for a while, but I had to, I had a normal job doing different things like that, and once I actually started becoming an entrepreneur, I actually had to do some learning and things like that. So I had to build the business.
Life coaching is wasting their money.
Why you say that?
You are not a good life coach.
Why do you say that?
Damn. You have your own life together.
Why do you say that?
Because all the things that you want, you don't have.
Becoming an entrepreneur, I actually had to do some learning and things like that. So I had to build the business.
Life coaching is wasting their money.
Ooh, that's a burn.
Why you say that?
You are not a good life coach.
Damn.
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like you have your own life together.
Damn.
Why do you say that?
Because all the things that you want, you don't have.
Oh my God.
What do I?
You're telling me you want certain things that you don't have.
Oh my God.
So how are you coaching somebody else's life? Shouldn't you be coaching your own?
Oh shit.
I'm still confused on why you are saying this. It is important for somebody to stay away.
I literally just told you, because you don't have the things that you want in your own life. So how are you coaching somebody else's
It's
life?
important for somebody to focus on certain things and then focus on other things. If you're trying to build a business, whether you're a man or woman, it wouldn't be fair to the other person if you just get into a relationship where you're trying to build all this other stuff, because that other person is going to be neglected in a way. And they should be neglected if you're trying to build this business. Or the business needs to be neglected because you're trying to build this marriage.
So what's more important to you, finding a girl or building your business?
I built the business already. So now it's finding a wife. Yeah.
Wife. Okay.
A wife, not just a girl. Okay. I have not met the woman I want to marry yet.
Got you. Okay. All right. Well, listen, if you fit the description, your page, you gotta have your natural hair, you gotta have a public page.
And a public page.
And there you have it. Give them your Instagram name.
Mr. Oh, I was about to give the old one. I am _ Mr. Let Go.
I am _ Mr. Let Go. There you have it, ladies only. What's your age range? Do you have an age range?
I would say between 30 and 45.
Does she have to be in Atlanta?
Yeah. It could work if it's not in Atlanta, but I prefer in Atlanta, but it could work.
Okay. All right. And if she has kids, she had to want to be married, right?
Yeah. Okay. But depending on who she is, we can deal with that also.
Okay, depending on who she is. All right. Well, I wish you all the best in 2022.
Okay. All right, Kendra.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
OMG. OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I don't know about y'all, but whatever it is that you guys do, job-wise, whatever it is that you stand in front of, say in regards to saying this is my title, the credentialing to back up that title. And it's not just a self-proclaimed title, because you have people like KENDRA G and a lot of other people that like to point out what it is that you don't have. So I'm hoping that this is a lesson for Mr. Let Go, like myself, that are in the life coach business, to make sure that you have your credentialing, so that way when someone says, what makes you certified, you can say, these are my certifications. Do I think that KENDRA G, was she a little bit extra? I think she was a little bit extra. Whatever case may be. But I think you can handle the extra, you know what I'm saying, by knowing who you are. And I think that, Mr. Let Go, let the conversation go somewhere where, he couldn't control, because he didn't. Once he said, hey, I'm a self-proclaimed, as soon as he says I'm self-proclaimed, the conversation went left, because I felt like, damn, I'm outing myself. Sexy hard on the wig. But I'm just saying, man, the conversation between men and women, you definitely need to bring confidence to the table. Because as soon as someone sees an ounce of shakiness, an ounce of being scared, a little bit of timid, it's like, a drop of blood in the water and they're a shark, and I think that she really went in. And I think that Mr. Let Go was, like I said, I don't know if it was for, I like her, or I don't want to rattle her, or what. It could have been a better interview on his part, or whatever case may be, in regards to answering the questions. But all in all, get your credentialing. This is the year to get your credentialing and make sure that what it is that you're talking about, you stand on and you stand by 100%. Salute to everybody in the chat. I appreciate all the donations. I'm hoping to have a conversation with KENDRA G and Mr. Let Go, because I have different questions for both of them. But I'm hoping that they understand this conversation and my perspective on things, or whatever it case be. Ladies and gentlemen, for those people that are new to the Tough Love platform, We are going to be starting our panels live. I'm going to be breaking it down on when I'm going live, on what the topic's going to be about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment and let me know where you're from. I really appreciate everybody. All right. Salute, salute, salute. Until next time, a daughter up.